I'm Emily.
And I'm Mallory.
Welcome to What's Up in Sport Martial Arts.
This is a SportMartialArts.com production, and we're going to introduce you to the sport and the amazing competitors, coaches, instructors, and events that make up this world.
Over 6 million people participated in some kind of martial arts training in the United States in 2021. Martial arts is one of the most popular activities for keeping kids healthy and active. But there's more to it than just kicking and punching in your karate school. Martial artists also compete against other martial artists in tournaments around the world to improve skills and confidence. The sport martial arts events that we focus on are martial arts tournaments that are open to all styles, belt ranks, and experience levels, and offer forms or kata competition, kata or forms using martial arts training weapons, and speed or point sparring. The events are designed to be a safe way to practice martial arts and test your skills.
There have been local and regional open martial arts events already in 2023. But for those in the know, the big start to the martial arts competition season is the AKA Warrior Cup in Chicago, Illinois. It's coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, January 20th and 21st.
This event was formerly known as the AKA Grand Nationals. The event offers lots of divisions for martial artists of all ages and belt ranks. The highlight of the event is the Warrior Cup Grand Championship competition for top black belts. This pits the best of the best against each other in junior forms and weapons and adult forms, weapons, and sparring. All are vying for the coveted 6 Warrior Cup titles that each come with a gargantuan trophy that weighs nearly 75 pounds and is 5 feet tall. With only 6 of these offered per year, winning one is truly a major accomplishment.
Stay tuned because we will be at this event and you can watch the final championships for both under black belts and the Warrior Cup Black Belt Championships live on our YouTube page at Sport Martial Arts. Make sure to subscribe and get ready. The broadcast will air on Saturday, January 21st.
Hey Mal, guess where I was over Christmas break?
Ah, geez, probably someplace warm, I bet.
Yep, Puerto Rico, of course. Well, we love highlighting sport martial arts schools in our dojo features. And while I was in Puerto Rico, I got a chance to visit Edgardo Martinez's school, MIK Martial Arts.
Oh yeah, they participated in our virtual events when we started in 2020, right?
They sure did. They had some great competitors, and it was a great pleasure to finally see their school and the competitors in person. We're going to be releasing a full dojo segment on the school, but I wanted to give a shout out to Edgardo and his students in this segment as our featured school.
So what did you think of the place?
Well, I was really impressed. And I learned that Edgardo is not only a great martial arts competitor and instructor, he has a secret side. Next to his dojo is a music store. He's been training in music since he was a young child.
It just goes to show you that how multidimensional martial artists are.
Absolutely. And it sparked a new idea for me. We're going to try and highlight the secret lives of martial arts competitors in future shows to show some of the really cool things they do outside of competition.
That sounds exciting. You mean things like how you're a lawyer and I'm a software engineer?
Yeah, stuff like that, but hopefully way more exciting than what we do in real life.
Like many combat sports, martial arts is something that people think is only for boys, but it's a great activity for girls and women as well. One person who is focused on making martial arts competition equitable for women and girls is Maggie Messina. She founded Female Fighters Matter Too in 2015 with this goal in mind.
Messina is a big sponsor of the junior girls and women's black belt divisions at the upcoming AKA Warrior Cup, and Mel had a chance to catch up with her.
If you've heard of Female Fighters Matter Too, this is the wonderful lady behind everything. First, where did you get the idea for sponsoring not only lady fighters, but lady divisions? Where did this idea come about for representation for the ladies?
I've always been a paid forward kind of person. And when I started competing early on, the women we weren't recognized much at all back in the 80s. And it never really sat well with me, especially when competing and almost being put down. Mm-hmm. And as a woman not being taken seriously, it can do some damage to a person and making a person feel less than. And I watched this for years and years, and it just got to a point where I was just sitting there waiting for someone to make a change, someone to fix it, until I came to the point where I just said, you know what, maybe I can be part of trying to make these changes. And it was born. And it never looked back. And I really am overjoyed by the response that it gets, and the people that call and the people that email me. And then if I go to an event, the young women, especially the girls, the young girls, and the fathers that come to me and thank me for being, for taking the reins on this. It's women supporting women. And I really, truly believe it's up to us to make that change for the next generation. If we don't do it, who will? And it's not just about doing fundraisers and raising money and, throwing a little bit money here and there. It's about consistency and truly wanting to see the change from your heart.
You have your own school, so therefore your students have a female instructor, and they look up to you and respect you for what you're teaching them. And, actually tell us a little bit about your school. Where is it located?
My school's on Long Island. It's right over the Queens border in Albertson, New York, neighboring Mineola and Roslyn. I've been there for 22 years. And again, when I started my school, being a woman, I faced a lot of challenges to a point where I had men coming into my school telling me that I need to hire them because I'm a woman and I can't teach and no one's going to take me serious. And it was a struggle because it's the emotional effects that takes on us as women and young girls. We take that in. It's hard not to take it in when it's constantly being given to you, to a point where I did have male instructors and I did take a back seat for a long time, thinking that that's just the way, and that's the way it is, and that's what's going to lead me to success. Until I decided that, you know what, no, I'm not going to do that. And I put myself in the forefront, and my school it bursted at the seams. Especially the children's program, but also now my teens program is bursting at the seams. And I don't think it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman today. It's who's delivering the message and how you're teaching, how you're connecting with each person. Because it's not just about the kicking and punching. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's also about helping these young people and others feel empowered. That's the big thing. And to feel empowered and to become anything and whomever they choose to be in life.
Taking on an endeavor like this, it's you've gone and you've matched prize money. Sometimes you've given more than what was the men were getting. And I think you did that as a point. Do you have your own personal oil well or money tree in the back, or are you just personally funding this? I mean, it's not only like you said.
Yeah, some of it's through Take Hold, my school, but a lot of it's from my own pocket. And I've never been one to. I don't have to be rich. I don't need the big $1 million home. I don't need the big fancy $100,000 car. I'm a realist. And when you come from nothing, you definitely don't need, I want to be comfortable, but I don't need to, I don't need to feed my ego with all those things. It's a lot better when you are feeding a change and giving opportunity to others. It's so much more rewarding. And it saddens me that not more people are like that. Perhaps it's because of where I'm from and the way I grew up that makes me different. Sometimes I wonder why others don't do the same or view it the same or, have the same type of outlook. But again, we're all different. We mustn't judge. And for me, I know what I'm doing. I know I know where I'm going with it. And, some people think, sometimes people start something and then they go with it. And then all of a sudden it putters down. I'm not going anywhere, and I'll do all I can to see that there's a change with this.
Well, one thing I'd like to ask before we wrap things up is that you never know how this medium that we have will find people. If there's someone that, maybe this hit them and they say, I want to help out too. Where can they find you? Where can they go to get more information about Female Fighters Matters or your karate school as well?
Yeah, well, you can find Take Hold, TAECOLE, TKD. You can find us on tkd.com. You can find us online. You can find us on, we're on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media. And then Female Fighters Matter too. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and also at swerveforchange.org.
New England has a lot of martial arts going on and produces some great martial arts competitors. One of those competitors is Bailey Murphy. In 2022, Bailey established himself as one of the top point sparring competitors in the world and was unstoppable. However, he has only competed once at the AK Warrior Cup as an adult due to an annual conflict, and he has never won a Warrior Cup. But he will be there in 2023, and Mal sat down with him to learn more about this inspiring young man.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, and you? It's an honor to be here. I appreciate you guys thinking of me.
We got a couple things, but first of all, let's jump into school. How's school going?
School's going great. I got one more semester left, so it's everything I've been looking forward to. I'll finally be done with college, so it's a blessing.
How does it feel to now you can actually see the finish line? When you started, 4 or whatever years ago, and it's like, man, it's gonna be forever. But now you can actually see it happening.
Yeah, definitely. So college was a little of a different experience for me with COVID. So things kind of went by fast. I say it all the time. COVID kind of saved me. Like I had, it's not that college was getting rough or anything, but just having that extra year where it was online, it did make things go by real fast, and school just wasn't the same. So I kind of missed out on those 2 years, but it was all right.
How long have you been with Joey G, Mr. Greenhall?
Ooh, that's a good question. So my first year on the team was 2016. So 7 years now.
How did you meet him? I mean, how did this come about?
So I grew up in the league named or called Crane. Mr. G, we're around from the same area, the New England area. So I would see Mr. G every weekend at tournaments, even as a little kid. And I fought, I believe, when I was like 9 years old one time. And Mr. G, one of the first things he ever said to me was like, "When are you going to learn how to fight and get some hands?" He said that to me at 9 years old, and me being a competitive 9-year-old little kid. At the next tournament, or during that break between tournaments, I was practicing my hands. And I won my division at the next tournament using a lot more hands. And I said to Mr. G, I went up to him and said, "Yeah, I worked on my hands and I've been using my hands." So, Mr. G saw me as a kid. He kind of always wanted me around as a kid. He offered me multiple times as a kid, and it wasn't until I was 14 where I did join straight up. And I feel as if no other teams would even know about me or have the opportunity to see me fight if it wasn't for Mr. G, because from a young age, he was bringing me out to different tournaments and just helped me get more exposure. So that's where my loyalty lies with.
That is the truth right there. I believe that. I mean, it's the amount of people that, they've come up with him, they stay loyal to him. I know he appreciates that. He puts it out there for everybody. So that's fantastic.
Sure.
We've got, obviously, the Warrior Cup coming up this weekend. So what would be your goals for this tournament?
My goal, like every single tournament I go to, is to sweep it, to win the lightweight overall, open weight, and then teams, as well as win that Warrior Cup. I know it's a little different where they have the open weight fighter fight the 30 plus, and the lightweight and heavyweight fighters fight each other, and then that final fight is between the winners of those 2 prior matches. So something I'm definitely looking forward to.
With that being said, let's take it back for a second. You're the son of a single mom, and
Yep.
she put you in karate. What age did she actually put you in?
So I started karate when I was 5 years old, 2007.
And did you like it right away, or was it, mom wants me to go to this karate thing? Some people don't like karate when they first get into it, but
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people don't, but it's kind of crazy. But karate was actually my idea.
okay.
Yeah, I remember the conversation between my mother and I. I got to the age, I was 5 years old, where she wanted me to do a sport or find an activity that I enjoyed. And she had asked me and said, "Do you want to play basketball, football, baseball?" And my response was, "No, I want to do karate." Like, I remember that conversation vividly.
Was it anything specific that led you to the martial arts?
Honestly, nothing like a TV show or anything like that, but more of I just like ninjas and stuff like that, right? So I used to go around the house and dress up like a ninja and act like I knew what I was doing when I really didn't, and just something I always had an interest in from a young age. No one really had to push me to it. It was just kind of fate, you know. So I actually started off doing private lessons just on Saturdays, so I'd go once a week. And then there was a summer camp. My mom had me enroll in the summer camp, and they were teaching sparring at the summer camp, and ever since then, I just became addicted.
Were there things from being involved in martial arts that helped you in football or track?
100%. I feel like having that that discipline that comes with martial arts and transferring it over to other sports, already being a good athlete, it just makes things that much easier. Just my my coachability and being able to listen. There's a lot of guys with other sports where they're good athletes, but they don't have the attention span or ability to just focus up during a practice. So I feel like that came real easy for me when I'm in a practice setting. I'm real serious, and I take whatever I'm doing serious because I just love sports that much, and I'm super competitive.
One thing that also comes up is that lately you've been teaching a good amount of seminars. Who's your favorite to work with? Young, old, beginners, advanced? Who do you like working with when you actually are teaching?
I like, to be honest, I like the age of like 15, 16. I feel like those are the ages when you really decide whether or not you're going to take this sport serious, or whether or not you find in yourself if you have it or not, you know. And just at that point, it just comes down to who's willing to make sacrifices and how great you're willing to be and how much work you're willing to put in. So that's definitely my favorite age to work with, because I remember being that age and just the obstacles that I had and the work that went into climbing over those obstacles, and the work that I'm doing now to continue, you know. So that's a great age group to work with because of the different ways that your mind changes and how develop with this sport, you know.
If someone were going to their first martial arts tournament, what advice would you give them?
It's okay to be nervous. Everyone gets nervous. That just means you care. That just means you care about what you're doing, you know. It means you're a human. Really just go out there and do the best you can. That's all you can really ask for. It's your first tournament. So it's a bar setter. After your first tournament, you can really tell how good you are or how much work you really need to do. You really need to put in. So that's all it really is. You should just use it as an assessment to yourself.
So what would be your ideal job if I said, hey, Bailey, write your own ticket, you graduate, you go to work at where? Or doing what?
So I would be super interested in working with juvenile probation. Growing up, I had a lot of friends that did get in trouble. You know, I wasn't in trouble because I feel like I had an outlet, and that outlet was martial arts, a sport crowd, you know, just point fighting, having the opportunity to travel and just get out of my town pretty often. So there's a lot of kids that are stuck in the system, and I feel it's because they don't have that outlet. You know, so I feel like if I wasn't doing karate, I'd like to be in a position to help people find their outlet and, you know, just find ways to stay out of trouble and just have something to focus on.
Very well said, sir. I can't wait to see you at the Warrior Cup. Definitely will be there catching those fights, and maybe we'll get another highlight reel, kick or punch or something. Bailey, thank you very much for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
One cool thing about a new year starting is that you get to see a lot of people move into new divisions, and you get to reflect on how competitors developed last year. If you're new to the martial arts competition, we're hoping this segment will start to introduce you to some of the top black belt competitors, so you have people to watch for and cheer on when you watch the live streams or actually attend live events.
Wasim Dridi hails from Canada, and we first noticed him in virtual competitions that SportMartialArts.com created during the pandemic. He then started competing at in-person tournaments, starting with the 2022 AK World Cup. He got on stage there, and he's been competing for titles since then and all through the year. And he has been unstoppable. Watch for him in 2023. I think he's moving up in his age category too, so it's going to be interesting to see him against an older crowd.
Isabella Nicola is a young lady who reached her dream of getting on a top sponsored martial arts team, Team Paul Mitchell. And in 2022, she was a double grand championship winner in almost every event she competed in. In 2023, she's moving up in an age category, but we're expecting big things from her. Tyson Ray is from New York State, which is a hotbed for great sports martial arts competition, and Tyson is one of the major sparks. He jumped up into adults in 2022 and did a fantastic job, so we expect to see him make some waves in 2023 as well.
Maeve McColgan is another Canadian who made some waves in girls point sparring in 2022. She was the overall 16 to 17-year-old girls sparring winner at an event in Maryland called the U.S. Capitol Classics, and also competes in an international league called the World Karate Commission, or WKC, and does a great job there as well.
Wasim, Bella, Tyson, and Maeve will all be competing at the 2023 AKA Warrior Cup. Now that you know them, make sure to tune in later to see how they did at the AKA Warrior Cup, and tune in to see if they make it to the Grand Championship stage.
There are many more competitors we want to introduce you to, but we're out of time. Make sure to tune in to the SportMartialArts.com YouTube page and Facebook page to see lots of videos and the live streams from the 2023 AKA Warrior Cup this weekend. Signing off now, this is Emily.
And this is Mallory.
And now you know what's up.